year, with us coming in, we had a lot of obstacles. We had a lot of things we had to do because we never done before. And I'm just really proud of everybody coming together and pitching in to get an obstacle jumped and an event pulled off that the town really wanted, and I think we did a decent job. And I'm so thankful for everybody who helped out. And I could go on and on and all the people that pulled together to get it done. And I'm really grateful for it. I love this town. I just couldn't be more grateful for everything that happened. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Bowman. We will move on to council reports. Bishop.
It's not there.
Excuse me?
Manager's report's not there.
It's in the back. It's usually there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Up first,
I'm sorry?
threw me for a loop there. I thought I messed something up. Up first is planning and zoning, Councilor London.
President, our planning commission did not meet, zoning hearing board did not meet, code enforcement filed this report on that issue. Building permits received of 48 issues of 48, 0 denied, 0 fines. Plumbing permits, 4 received, 4 issued, 0 denied, 0 fines, 0 completed. Mechanical permits, 5 and 5. Electrical permits, 5 and 5. Fence permits, 2 and 2. UNO, 7, 6 issued. Rentals, 3, 1 issued. Complaints regarding land enforcement were 11. The complaints were for red title boilers, water heaters, possible illegal occupant without a CO on Swarthmore Avenue, structural repairs to garage with no permit, possible exterior and interior work with no permit, possible roof work with no permit, possible trip and fall hazard at Ridley Middle School, 319 Sloan, grass and vegetation, that's been taken care of. I believe that was abated by our team. Okay. High grass on 411 Bonsall, deteriorated non-functional exterior door on Chester Pike, high grass and weeds on Kenny Street, unsecured trash and food left out on Bonsall Road. It looks like 409, looks like a construction site. Also, there was an ongoing complaint for 11 Rosemont Avenue for chickens. Code did take a visit, and so did our Board of Health take a visit, and the owner of the chickens has been notified. They have 2 weeks to rehome those chickens as of 10/18/25. We'll move to Hart, the report filed by J.P. Tinlin. They met on September 25th. They did a review of an application for Brian Gilmore at 206 Cresswell. And they did advisory, actually it was an advisory discussion for Mr. Gilmore. He wanted to do certainty cedar impression vinyl siding, also plans to apply the same material to the front of the garage. After reviewing the brochure and examining the style of appearance of the proposed material, the board agreed that the replacement siding maintains historic character of the home. Ellie Hayes made a motion to approve. The application was submitted. There were no enforcement ordinances, no new business. Meeting was adjourned at 7:31. Now, going forward, the November meeting falls on Thanksgiving. The December meeting falls on Christmas. So there's talk now whether they should combine November and December in one meeting on a different date, or just move both meetings in those months to the week prior to the normal meeting. So a notification will come out, and they'll give you more than time. Okay. That's our complete sign.
All right. Thank you very much, Councilor Pinto. You have made a motion to accept Councilor Pinto's report.
Motion.
Motion, Councilor Collins, second, Councilor Gear, and comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Up next, communications, Councilor Melissa Bush.
Hometown TV, no new updates on that. Historic Commission, just to piggyback off of what the mayor spoke on. Hopefully everybody was there at the film festival and saw the Taylor Hospital and Dr. Taylor display. It was wonderful at Rosemary's.
more detail that's gonna be brought up, I think, when we talk about the budget itself. The other thing that's coming up is leave collection, and, expect it's basically the first week in November we're gonna start. It'll run through November and December. It'll start in the 2nd and the 4th, the first week in November, then the 1st and the 3rd, basically the 10th, through the 14th. So it's basically every other week, like every other year. So if you wanna start planning ahead and getting the leaves out there, like I said, that's the best way to do it, is just the month by month, get it done, try to get one area done. They do a great job with that, but like I said, it's always a help if it's your month, or if it's your week, I should say, if you can kind of like, almost like snow removal, if you can get cars on one side of the street so they can come and do a clean sweep. Obviously, sometimes the leaves are on both sides of the street, but if you can keep a clear path for them to come through, it just makes it a lot easier for them, and it makes the job go by. Obviously, this is all subject to change if weather gets bad, but for the most part, they do a good job, and it gets done usually in a timely fashion. With that, it's my report.
All right, thank you very much, Councilor McGinley. You're making the motion to accept Councilor Lewis' report. Second? Second, Councilor Collins. We have a motion, Councilor Gear, second, Councilor Collins. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? we have a beginning balance of, for the month of September 2025, $2,414,898.99. We had revenues of $519,193.64. Total expenses for the month, $710,653.01, for an ending balance of $2,223,439.62.
I have a question.
Sure.
Before we continue, it's just, I want to be clear.
Yeah.
Let me find it, hold on. Okay. Do we have a negative fund balance of $295,000, do you know?
No, I mean, we get 2.1 million in bank.
Okay. Trish, are all our bills paid up to date, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Any outstanding, any not paid?
No.
For the record.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we are going to do a brief presentation with Councilor Pinto, myself, and Councilor Yin. I think, Danielle worked the,
Okay, not yet, though. Don't switch it till I ask you.
want to come up here that we can see?
Sure. So a year ago, about this time, we raised taxes. We had a filled chamber of very concerned residents. We unfortunately didn't have a choice at the time. I don't know what's going on now, the allergies or something, I apologize. I asked you folks at that time to trust me that if we work our plan as we thought it through, that when we get to the 2026 budget, we would be able to reduce taxes, property taxes, okay? So that's what this is about, okay? You can go ahead and push the next slide. Frozen? You narrow it down? Okay. So how did we develop the budget? Well, we started in August. System changes, we have a new system for from Rickard Simpson. It actually works. It works well, similar to what we use at work. It's so easy to read. And you guys, when you see it publicized, you're gonna love it. It's a lot different than the last one. Okay? So here's our go back, please. Am I on it? Oh, that's where you want to be. We forecasted expenses to the end of the year, so we don't have all our expenses in yet. So we took what we spent up to date and then divided that by 12 and then added that by 3 months remaining. So that's how we forecasted out the rest of the year. We received trash and sewer fees in October. Preliminary budget was finalized on October 17th. We're going to present that tonight. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So how do we generate revenue? Well, here's the property tax in mills. There's the trash fees, there's the sewer fees, there's the earned income tax. There's permits, licenses, fees and grants, and transfer taxes when property is sold. There's emergency and local services tax, and there's a per capita tax. That's all the revenue streams that we have coming into the borough. I remember when I first got into office, not the first time I was voted in, but the first time I was appointed to fill an empty seat, I looked at the budget and I said, you know, we are a town that lives paycheck to paycheck. There was no money for a rainy day. That rainy day came, we did not. We had to find our way through it, and we did, thanks to this gentleman, that young lady sitting right there, and this young lady right here. We fought our way through it, and here we are today, okay? So I'm gonna leave the next minute for Dave.
Next slide, please. All right, so taxes and fees this year for 2026 are reduced. So we have a property tax millage reduced from 6.5 mils, where it has been set for the last 2 years, to 4.93 mils. That's a 24% cut, and that takes us to the 2021 level of the millage rate. Trash to $5.75 per EDU. And borough residents and individuals employed within the borough still pay the 1% EIT tax. So earned income tax was this year. The goal when we put this in place was to increase our sources of revenue stream and then stabilize the budget, which will allow us to bring down the property tax value, or excuse me, not your property values, your property taxes that you pay on the value. That is a big difference. So this year, we have a full year of understanding what the earned income tax is going to look like in Ridley Park. So that is what has enabled us to lower the property taxes. What counts as earned income is wages, salaries, tips, commissions, bonuses, and profits from self-employment. What is not an earned income tax? It's interest, dividends, capital gains, investments essentially, and social security. So if you are an individual is retired and has no earned income, you are not paying an earned income tax. Who pays this? So we're still waiting. We'll know the updated numbers for 2025. They'll give us the exact numbers for the borough. This is what was estimated to us prior to us announcing it for a full year. Estimated 3,289 residents filed a W-2 in Ridley Park. 1,158 had already been paying a form of earned income tax, whether that be city wage to Philadelphia or Chester. So those individuals basically are already paying it elsewhere, and it allows that income to come home, which is estimated to be about 500,000. Like I said, we'll know that number at the end of the year when we see the final numbers. Out of 2,560 municipalities in Pennsylvania, 2,374 levy and earned income tax, approximately 93%. So the idea has always been to bring revenue in and back home to Ridley Park, which lowers the property tax, which helps with the property value. So where are we in comparison to other boroughs within Delaware County? So there's 27 boroughs in Delaware County. If you took our proposed tax rate of 4.93 mils and used the 2025 numbers for the rest of Delaware County, that's assuming that they're not going to increase any of their property millage rates this year. We would be the 8th lowest. So of the 7 boroughs lower than Ridley Park, 3 have either an earned income tax or mercantile tax. The mercantile tax is no longer available. And quite frankly, we don't have a large enough business base. We have a fantastic downtown, but not a large enough business base that we would see significant income from that. So, 14 boroughs in Delaware County now have an earned income tax out of the 27. All right, Mike.
All right, so obviously we gotta give Trish credit. She brought this together. She got us to have a meeting with the township to discuss this agreement with the borough and the township. We had a lot of questions for them because we didn't know how this would go, how does it work, what are we responsible for, and what do we have to do? After going over everything, it's no different than any of the other trash companies that we've had coming in, as far as they're an outside company. They're not our employees. They're basically just providing a service for Ridley Park. So this is obviously going to lower costs if they're right next door. The quality of the service is going to be 10 times better because, again, they are right next door. They're going to be able to do it. No more having to register for bulk items. Any resident that had to register for bulk items, it was a tough ordeal, especially for the office staff. They had to get this stuff, and then if there was a miscommunication between the trash company, it was bad. Now, I'll be honest with you, they're not going to handle a clean out. They're not, like, if you got a estate sale, you're going to put everything out there, you might want to work something out with that. But they're easy to work with something out with them if there's a large amount. But you should never have to reach out to them to get stuff removed. Now, there will be specific regulations. Most mattresses and everything like that still need to be in a mattress cover or whatever bag. But stuff like that is not going to be done. There'll be no more separation of yard waste. Basically, just put it out. Put the stuff out, and it's going to be taken away. So, at the end of the day, and Dane will go over the numbers, this is going to save the borough a very large amount.
with the potential deal with township, our neighbor, but also there are many areas where township and Ridley Park overlap. I live on Pomeroy Street. If you go up to the corner, there's actually a little cul-de-sac. With the very top of that cul-de-sac, 4 houses are technically Ridley Township, and you would never even know it. So there are areas within that's just going to allow for better efficiency, better service, and we're excited about that. Overall, if you look at the expenses from last year's budget to this year's budget, we are cutting expenses by $723,000. A lot of that is due to the trash deal that we just worked out. We also do not have any retiring officers this year. I'm expecting lower legal fees this year due to the Taylor Hospital no longer being in bankruptcy. So there's definitely some savings that we're finding and having within one of the line items that you're going to see in there in the budget when we post it hopefully tomorrow online is it provides $132,000 in ambulance coverage in a new municipality consortium. So we'll probably have some more information on that, but that is looking to increase services in terms of closing the gap that was left by ambulances when Keystone Crozier closed. Provides $20,000 for the library gutter and soil regrading. So Katie and I, we met with all the department heads to work on this budget. So one Katie, I was thoroughly impressed with how detailed we were. So it is going to allow Katie to get some gutter work and some regrading of the soil at the library, which hopefully can help remediate a little bit of the flooding. She's also working on quite a few grants that we're having some trouble with right now because the state has not passed the budget as of yet, so hopefully they can get that together and then we might be eligible for some of the grants that she's been looking for as well. Also provides $27,000 for a new police car. This will help us lower maintenance costs. So we have not bought a police car in 3 years. A large part of that was because we wanted to maintain expenses when we were going through some fiscal issues the previous 2 years. But when you do not buy a new police car, the oldest police car in the fleet needs a lot of work. Those guys are riding those cars 24/7, literally. So we're going to buy a new police car this year, and then we budgeted for $10,000 for field maintenance and equipment for the Ridley Park Athletic Club. Typically, every year we spend about that much in getting the fields ready for baseball season and other municipal sports. Our highway guys did a fantastic job this year, borrowing a bucket truck from township, getting the diamond tech ready, and doing a lot of things over there. So we saved a little bit, but I think getting the athletic club and our highway guys the right equipment to maintain that, it makes the fields look better, makes the neighborhood look better, and it's not just for the Park Athletic Club, right? I live over there, Melissa lives over there. You go over to that field any day of the week before there's a baseball practice, there's kids running around playing baseball. You want it to look nice, so I think that'll be a big improvement as well. All right, so the chart's a little different this year. I think last year I did 8 properties to kind of show you what the savings were. This year I literally did just two houses that I own. So Pomeroy Street is my current residence, and that is the assessed value by the county. That includes the 2025 and 2026 numbers for trash, sewer, and my borough tax and the total cost. So next year I'm going to be saving, next year hopefully I won't be in that house, but next year whoever is in that house will be saving $349.70 in comparison to the previous year. The house on Glenlock Road, my dad's house, that hopefully I'll be going to, same thing. We did trash, sewer, and property taxes based off a valuation of $233,570 according to the county, roughly a savings of $436. So you can see we're in that high 15 to low 17% range in taxes and fees total. So yeah, we're excited. We put a lot of work in. I think I want to give a shout out to Trish and Danielle for this because I was really pressuring them to get the numbers going in August and kind of start this process going and make sure we had our ducks in a line. And we do. And I'm excited because with the addition of Danielle and Trish's guidance, we're able to do a lot more cash forecasting. So we're getting a really good idea of where we're at. standpoint to end the year, and which has allowed us to forecast this budget, I think, a little more accurately, and cleaner. I think this is the cleanest and healthiest budget, in my 8 years on council. So, appreciate you guys sticking with it. I know the last 2 years, we've had packed meeting rooms. This is a very crowded room tonight. I'm assuming it's because you all saw the preliminary budget on the agenda. That's perfectly fine. But I am glad to finally be standing up here and delivering good news. So, like I said, it is cuts all around. We're making reductions. The plan is working. And one of the things that I do want to mention is the budget, and thank you, but the budget that we forecast is conservative. And I mean conservative on the income side. So I was battling back and forth with Danielle, because I think we could have added a little more in terms of tax revenue, but she wouldn't let me do it. But I think the numbers are gonna look better for next year, and you're gonna be able to bring down those property taxes more, as we were able to build the savings, and lower those property taxes a little bit more off the EITs and those taxes.
Plus you'll have a full year of the EIT under our belts.
Yeah.
We'll know what that looks like, and if Taylor does ramp up as we hope, you'll have more income on the EIT from Taylor's employees.
Yep. So, all right, well, thank you guys very much. So. All right, finance and personnel, do I have a make a motion to accept my report? Councilor Gear, second. Councilor Kennedy, comments or questions?
Can I just have a question?
Yeah.
Regarding
No.
Danielle just home. She's been out for almost 5 months now.
Okay.
Do we have a projected date of when she's returning?
That's a personnel matter.
Her though while she's out?
That's a personnel matter, and I have to discuss it with the private. So. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Community organization, Council Vice President, Rich Garrett.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be brief. The mayor did hit on the, sorry.
Yeah, Rich made the first, can I second?
Yeah. Kira, and then you.
I'm sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
Sorry. The mayor did hit on the fall festival, with the business association, so I won't get too far into that. The Ridley Park Athletic Club did have their homecoming last weekend, which was a wonderful event. A lot of fun and excitement, and you could hear it all over the town with the loudspeaker, so, really, good stuff going on at the athletic club. And that's really all I have.
Okay. Oh, and I don't know if the Burger sent me this, but I don't know if you saw it. We got a new giant blow-up head, or helmet head for the kids who went out for the park.
The high school got, the high school got.
Yeah,
Similar to that.
yeah, so we have a black and red
Nice.
one now for the Parkers, which is pretty cool for the kids. Cool. So, all right, do we have a maker of the motion to accept Councilor Gear's report? Councilor Collins, second. Councilor McGinley, comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Public safety, Councilor Michelle Andrus.
I will have Chief Thomas come up.
Good evening, everybody. This is Public Safety Report for the Police Department for the month of September. We had 295 calls for service, bringing us up to 2,707 for the year. Criminal arrests 5 in September, bringing us up to 36. Prisoners held in cells 3, bringing us up to 21. Citations issued, we had 22 traffic citations issued, bringing us up to 144. 11 non-traffic
actually, I was asking him about one of the rides he's going that time. I'm like, oh, you going on this ride? I think this ride. He said, you can't do anything. Still his son, he's recovering, but he's being good. He's not doing anything he shouldn't. Okay, so below is the fire activity report for September 2025. We had 30 calls per month. I'm not going to worry with the breakdowns in the email that you all got. 12 hours of service, 10 hours, 9 minutes. Total staff hours, 26 hours, 7 minutes. Cumulative with firefighters responding was 76. Also, so the other reason why Mike makes me do this for October is we just had our fire prevention week. So we saw by we, that is Deputy Chief Brian Gilmore. He is a trooper. He is one who gets up and speaks to all the kids. He is awesome. He actually has a background in one of his degrees, I think his first degree is in education. So he is just really great talking to all the kids. I'm the banner of the show. I try on the gear, I show them stuff. So we saw 460 students through the week, pre-K through second grade. That is Lakeview, Ridley Park Presbyterian Nursery School, St. James Regional. They all got the little bags stuffed all 460 again. We also attended open houses for Wilmot Fire Company, Prospect Park Fire Company, Norwood, Glen Olden, and so those 4 fire companies. We bring the fire safety trailer that we share with the district, the Bullock system, doing the fire extinguishers, and we also kept bringing our flame house, because apparently everybody else's flame house all died in the same year. So by the way, if anybody is really good at like construction, woodcraft, things like that, fire companies need help with stuff like that. Just a little flame house, just throwing it out there, because apparently ours is the only one in the district still standing, and ours is probably 30 years old. Our open house was on Sunday. Thanks to the Fall Festival, you knocked me into the nor'easter. You're good to us. I like you. Yeah, so we ended up having that on Sunday. The nor'easter cooperated. I'm not a praying woman, but I prayed all day, and that thing went past us for the most part. We had about 100 attendees, which is light, but there was more still coming. Special thanks to Tom Nair, I can never say his last name, from Norwood Fire Department. He came out and helped with our trailer, which kept me from having to be in there teaching. So he and Brian were in the safety trailer teaching, so that I could walk around and keep them out in the open house. So thank you to everybody who came out. Hopefully we'll have better weather and better attendance next year.
Thank you, Karen. Great. Then moving on, Board of Health meets tomorrow night at 7 p.m. downstairs. Nothing from emergency management, and on the agenda there is a motion for testing for corporal for civil service. This is something, since we had lost our last officer due to retirement, we need to get the corporals back with the contract. We need that in place. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Councilor Russ. We have a maker of the motion to accept Councilor Russ'
Motion.
Councilor Collins, first. Councilor Gear, second. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All right. Up next, we have a manager's report. Tricia.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder, PICO upcoming event, they're replacing the main gas installation is scheduled to begin at the end of October, and the work will be done on East Hinckley Avenue. The Sellers and East Hinckley sanitary sewer replacement is tentatively set to start November 17th. The leaf collection season is upon us. It is starting the first week in November and will last through the last week in December. There will be a flyer posted. Just keep an eye out for your precinct, and please have the leaves out on the street and have for the guys to be ready. Just pick them up. The Fall Festival. I want to give a big thank you to the Business District hosting this year's Fall Festival. The event was a huge success despite the weather. I also would be remiss if I did not congratulate and thank the Highway Department for their hard work in the weeks leading up to the event and also on the day of the festival. They did an amazing job, and I have to say they never complained. So we also have it's on the agenda, a paving restoration contribution. They are asking for us to approve a loan, a contribution of $190,000 for the borough to do the work restoration for the repaving. And after speaking with Charles, he recommends that we accept the contribution. 2 grant opportunities the borough is exploring. One is the PICO grant, the region grant, which matches, it's a 50% match. And then the other one is the PA LSA on Church Street. We contacted contractors, they came out immediately, and the repairs have since been completed. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you very much, Trish. Up next, solicitor's report. Gentlemen, got anything for us?
Thank you, Mr. President. No report.
Okay. Thank you. And Mr. Kennedy, for the engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. A copy of my report was delivered to the borough manager, and there's nothing further to add.
Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we'll open up for council business. As always, it's an opportunity for any member of council to discuss any business in terms of the borough. I will start with Councilor Bolton.
There's two things that happened in this town that we'd be very proud of here in New York. One is the Fall Festival, and the other one is what we do for the 4th of July. And I just want to thank PJ, Phil, for Rosemary's, the highway guys, Trish, police, fire, everybody that had anything to do with the event. It was amazing. Roger Church, in the car check, that too was amazing. I don't think people understand the amount of work that goes into an event like that. I just want to say thank you.
Council Pinto, Council Garrett.
Couple things, just brief items. We hit on the leaves, that's good. Trish, for the fountain, are we looking to take that out soon?
Yes,
Schedule?
schedule the charge.
Okay. And Dave, you got a letter thing on that?
Yes, Mr. Gold, assuming you pass this tonight, budget and presentation will be up tomorrow.
Cool, thank you. And then do we know what the amount of VIP we've gotten so far is, roughly?
Danielle, yell at me if I'm getting this wrong. $1,189,441.15.
That sounds about right, but it's the second page, like, that's the first one with all of Keystone. It says EIT, in the second column on the page.
Okay, so got $1,122,765.55.
Thank you. And then the last thing I have is for the trash contract with Ridley Township. Do we have to do a competitive bid process?
We do not, so actually asked the solicitor that, and whether we would have to do a bid. If we were working with an outside vendor, then yes. But he gave the guidance that it's because it is an inter-municipal agreement, no bid is required. All right, I have nothing.
No business to discuss.
The question I have with the EIT, do we know when, like, obviously I'm speaking because we have a household that mine comes out my check, my wife's will have to come up with that money. Do you know when that date is for that, for the people who don't have it taken out of their check, the EIT? Do you know when that has to be submitted by?
I don't, but I'm sure you'll get a notice from Keystone off the top of my head, I do not.
Okay.
So. That's it. All right, Councilor Russell.
I would just follow up with, Rich regarding the trash. I see that it's a savings, but how do we know that other contractors aren't going to give us a savings as well? I mean, it's like going and getting work done in your house and only getting one estimate. How do you know that estimate's?
Councilor Newman.
The only thing I would say, compared to other estimates that we've gotten from other contractors, outside contractors for trash, they were never even close to this number.
What number?
What's that?
What number? She just asked you a good question about, like, if you're not.
So-
What number are you talking about?
Okay,
Hold on.
first of all-
Mr. Coffin, please, you will have a chance. Thank you so much.
So, all right, fair enough. Do you know the price that we pay currently? And I mean, I can't right now off the top of my head give you all the other bids that we got the last time around, but we went with the cheapest bid the last time this was, for how many, it was a 2-year bid, right?
So, 2 years with an option of a third with Oppenmaker, who we know have now is $702,000.
And what are we paying from the account?
It's a savings of 279. 432.
I mean, that's the number that I'm going by. That number we got from Oppenecker was the best number we could get, everybody else was much higher. So that's the only comparison I can do without looking at everything else. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but that's the hard number of where it would be with other contractors. And
Possibly.
yeah, I mean, fair
I
enough,
mean,
possibly, but this is a great deal, it was something we were able to do, something we were able to save the taxpayers a significant amount of money at that time. It's something that we wanted to do in the past, but we weren't in, maybe there was just not the right guidance from individuals in the past for that, so. This was something that, to me, it was a no-brainer, and that's why we are hopefully gonna approve it tonight.
Yes, but we're going off the numbers based after post-COVID, which everything has increased significantly. So, I mean, when you go and buy a car, you don't go to just one car dealership. You get more house done more. You don't get one estimate.
Me personally, I'm happy with this number, I'm gonna stick to that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Of course.
I've been on council now for 8 years. I think we're on our 3rd trash hauler. Can't remember who was before Mascara. But from the township residents that I talked to, they're happy with their trash pickup. We seem to have issues with trash hauler from trash hauler to trash hauler. And the bids that we continue to get, each time we put it out to bid, continue to go up and higher and higher. So we're getting a neighboring municipality with a reputation of great service to come in at a very low number at a bid and save us $267.
And I think the service is something that's underrated in this whole situation, because I have numerous emails from everybody as far as how many issues we have with the current trash company. So, and I can also probably bring up ones from the past trash company. Now, are we gonna have maybe some issues going forward? Sure, but at least I feel comfortable working with the person next door to us, than somebody that has to come miles and miles away to fix all these problems that they have. And with all due respect, a lot of the complaints I received from you about the current trash company.
Complaints since, a couple of years.
I'm just saying, I've received numerous complaints from you with our current trash company, so.
I think what you get with this deal is when you deal with a vendor like Mascara, you enter into a contract and that contract and provide service. And with these haulers, it's efficient and you usually end up at the same length. But with township, it's a partnership. We partner with the township for quite a few things. And that's how I view this. I view it as a partnership, not necessarily as a contractor or vendor that's providing us a service, even though that's what we're doing. Those people over there are very friendly towards us, we're very friendly with them. And I think there's an actual win-win for the barrels, for the residents. Hey, I would love to put anything out on my curb and be assured it's gonna get picked up rather than picked through. Okay, because that's what they do right now, they pick through. I also would like to have somebody that empties my recycling can completely before they turn it upside down on the street. And then I have to turn it upside right and then pick up all the trash and put it back. Just give it a piece. If it doesn't work, anything else.
Yes, the
But
question on-
at the end of the day, it's a savings.
Is there a number of years on this number?
Yeah.
5 years, 5 years. Because things change too in relationship. So things can change municipality and government wise every 2 years. So if the folks that we're dealing with are friends of us now, but, there's not a lot of, if you look at like from a perspective of the county, there's not a ton of people that pick up other people's trash from other different towns. If it works, that's great, if it's savings, that's awesome. But there's other things to consider as well when you're thinking about that, because if times change or somebody doesn't wanna do it over there, where are we at?
It's a
So,
contract, right?
yeah, so I'll answer that question. So we've had issues in the past, and
There's a contract with our current caller too.
I'm thinking specifically with Mascara and even Oppenecker, where we've written letters and, with withheld money, because they weren't meeting the level of service that we wanted. But it's not easy to get out of those contracts. So what I actually instructed our solicitor to do, and he's working with the township solicitor, is to make sure that the contract has an out, which is a lot better than what we currently have when we're working with our current vendors. So that was a concern of mine, similar to the ALS contract, is that if you're doing a 5-year deal and someone's not meeting their end of the bargain, then we need to make sure we can get out of that agreement. So the solicitor is absolutely going to build that in. Now, the reason why the township is requesting a 5-year deal is because they have to buy a new trash truck, and they want to finance that trash truck over the course of 5 years. So with that, I understand that, right? Like, they want to finance it over 5 years, it's easier payments for them, then, okay, fine. Then what we'll do is we'll make sure that we have the correct language in place within the agreement that allows us to get out of it if it's not meeting the expectations.
Okay, and we'll all see that prior to making any kind of.
Yeah, so all we're voting on tonight is not to go with the township. I want to make that very clear to the residents. What they've sent over is a proposal that all of Borough Council has, and what we're authorizing now is for our borough solicitor to enter into contractual negotiations and to work on the terms of that contract with the township solicitor. This is not a final set deal. This is very much like the budget. It is preliminary. It can change, but we are authorizing our solicitor to enter into negotiations with their solicitor on our behalf. So that was his request. That's why it's on the agenda, and that's why everyone was given the initial bid. So,
Thank you.
I do wanna also bring up another thing that is potentially a problem. What if a truck breaks down that's supposed to come to our municipality?
they actually have, and we asked that question. So they have an old backup truck. So what their concern is they want to get this going because they're not sure whether day one they're gonna have that truck ready, because like you're buying a police car. Chief, you buy a new police car, you gotta get the bells and whistles on it and get everything up and going. So the day we sign the contract, they're gonna be ready to start financing that, and it may take them some time to actually get that truck. So what they have over at Township is a backup truck that they're gonna be able to use immediately to service for the park if that truck doesn't come in on time. The other thing, like we talked about a little bit in the presentation, is it adds efficiency, right? I can think of a bunch of overlap neighborhoods where maybe it's easier for them to have the loop in the back of Michelle Street that picks up over there to pick up that little section of Libby Park that's over on Michelle Street. Virginia Circle, right? Maybe when they're going down Haverford Road and picking up in the Millmont Park neighborhood, it's easier for them just to dip right into Virginia Circle and pick that up there. While their dedicated truck is going through the, I don't want to call it the main part of Libby Park, because those areas are certainly the main part of Libby Park, but within a more condensed area. So it's efficient, and it's been thought out, and we're working through the details, and all tonight is giving the authority to our solicitor to negotiate those terms.
This is good for Liberty Park. This is good for Liberty Park.
I know Ridley Township also uses their sanitation trucks for plowing. Does that affect our pickup as well?
I don't know if they use their sanitation for plowing, but they have a dedicated truck, and that truck's gonna be available for the park. With that, we will close council business, and we will move to the public comment portion of the agenda. As always, it is an opportunity for any citizen of the borough to come up and address council with questions and concerns. As always, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes.
Do I need a microphone, or can everybody hear me? We're good.
Do you have the blinking
This
list?
turns, yeah, it's blinking.
Yep.
So that's good, okay. Good evening, everybody, I'm Mike Gale, 51 Collier Circle. I just wanted to, for the record, the last available budget audit we have is for the end of year 2023. 2024's was due April 1st, The $834,986 deficit was the largest ever. Going back to 2006, the next largest one was 507,000. So I just want to make that comment.
That was in 2023, Mike?
2023. So I use that and I track those numbers, and that's fair because it's a third-party audit. You approve that, you put out the numbers, and that's the numbers, so we'll just go there. I'm curious, is this meeting being broadcast live right now on local cable television stations?
Yeah.
It is, okay. You record this meeting, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that recording made available for residents to review online on the web?
When it gets uploaded to the YouTube.
Can you tell me where it gets up
We
to?
are still working on that.
So you're recording them, but
And we're
there's
just holding them right now, and then they'll be
just
uploaded.
holding them.
Mhm.
Do you know when that's gonna be
I
available?
don't know. Barb's been helping us. I don't know.
So Mike, I actually talked a little bit with Trish about this. The concern that we have is when you create a YouTube channel, right? Like you have a YouTube channel, you record and then you put that up on your YouTube channel. So when you do that, they want you to have a Gmail account, so an email account. We go through ridleyparkborough.org. So what we're trying to figure out right now is like record retention. So in order for us to create that, they basically want everything to be through a Gmail account that we then have to go and create and set up. So we're trying to figure out a way around that, because what we would like is for it to be on our servers and through our email records for retention purposes. But it does look like there's no way around it. So we're probably gonna have to get some guidance with the solicitor if that's appropriate to have a Ridley Park meeting account at gmail.com or whatever we come up with, and what that looks like from a record retention purpose. So I think the first meeting we recorded was September.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first meeting, we're recording the regular meetings, that was September, this is the second one.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I was looking for them online.
Yeah, so this is only the second one that we've done.
Right.
Big shout out to Barb Tinley, because she's been able to figure out all this camera work, and that looks more than I'm capable of. But we need to figure out how we establish that YouTube channel correctly with an email address that is going to be outside of ISO.
Okay, maybe you can check with other boroughs, see what they do, or other
Yeah.
municipalities. Okay. Do I have any time left?
Yeah, a minute and 20.
I just want to mention one thing. I'll go for this. Previously, at the last meeting, I asked about, what the current balance in the capital reserve fund was, what the current balance in the ARPA fund was, and the amount of the check that the new owners of Taylor Hospital forwarded to the borough to settle their 2020-25 tax obligation.
So I'm not gonna tell you the tax amount, because I don't know whether I'm allowed to disclose what someone pays in taxes. So you can do a right to know request, and we can work with figuring out whether or not we can provide you essentially what someone pays in taxes. I'm not giving you a problem.
Well, I did do a right to know request, and I sent it 10/13/2025. You have 5 business days to respond.
Okay,
Today's the 5th day.
okay.
Tomorrow, I guess I could deem it as no response and file an appeal unless you want to.
I'm not gonna tell you the tax amount, so, what I will tell
Tell
you,
me the tax amount, I mean, what's,
because that would be, I get that it's Taylor Hospital, but if you walked up to me and said, hey, what does, Jack Claypool at 409 Hillside pay for a tax? I'm not giving you someone who owns a property's tax amount. Like, if the lawyer tells us, and we go and get guidance, you can hand over someone's personal property owner's tax information, I'll do it, but I'm uncomfortable having a resident call and ask, what does someone pay for taxes? I'm not doing that.
I'm just curious to know, I can come out pretty close, all I need to know is the millage and what the assessment was.
And
The assessment was $650,000, I can divide that by 365 days,
and
calculate the number of days from September 10th to the end of the year.
I'm sure it might be time's up,
I will do that.
and I'm sure.
And I
there's
will
no
let you
reason
know
for
as
that.
it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Excuse me, Mike. You didn't get my 30-day extension? I sent on October 16th.
No, I did not.
Okay. It's on my desk, I'll show you.
No, it's not my email. unless it came after 4 o'clock today.
Oh, yeah, two coming up.
Oh, go ahead.
Age before beauty. Mike Docker, 315 Mark Avenue. Couple of items. The sewer at the corner of Kingston Boulevard, the top of it has been gone for a month. Put a mesh around it, the kids are, it's a wide open hole. It really needs to be covered.
All right, we got one over in Hillside, so I can highway guess that Hillside is that.
Okay. How many times a week is the trash going to be picked up?
Same schedule.
Same schedule?
Yep.
Twice a week and once for
Correct.
recycling, okay? A couple of thank yous, to the council members that came by and came over to the house and was looking for votes. Pretty good. Never seen that in a long time. So you got my vote. And also to the police department, they were outside the other day playing basketball with the kids in the neighborhood. Chief, I think you need some work on the shooting, but the kids.
Did you have a bad jump shot? Was it terrible?
Kids took.
Oh, man, that's
Kids
hard.
got
He's a football player.
But it was great to see the cops out there with the kids. I mean, I think it's something that the kids need, and it was wonderful to see.
It's good small town police.
And, and plus it was a cop in the neighborhood, which we really appreciate. So, thank you guys. Thank you, Chief, really. Just get a thing out there in the back and you guys can practice. Because the kids are gonna beat you again. But thank you guys.
Thank you, Mike. They're faster anyway.
Huh?
They're faster.
They're good.
Sandy has 317 Burke. I just wanna thank the guys that cut the branches down, that were hanging down. You're gonna read the sign for kids. So, you guys remember this?
I do remember. To be honest with you, Sandy, I actually looked at that sign, I think I might try to have it removed where it's at, because it's not in a great spot.
But you did it the day before they went to school, so that's good. And, I was gonna say the same thing that Mike said. It was really fun watching these kids play with the cop. We should do this more often, especially on Burke Avenue, with the traffic.
I'm gonna see the chief get out there and shoot this.
I'll go your way.
Hi, Mary Pat King, 309 Johnson Avenue. About the potential for the trash change, I just have a couple things that you could clarify. Would there still be no charge for bulk pickup? Is that?
Correct.
Great. And that 5 years contract that you mentioned, is that then a fixed rate?
No, there is, I wanna say 2% increase? 2 to 3, like that.
Okay, because, my concern with that is, how like cable companies or car insurance,
Yeah.
everybody, the first year's a great deal.
Nah.
And then you go to cleaners for the next 4 and you're
Nope.
locked in.
Nope, we're not looking at our clocks.
Okay, great. The other question I have, in the preliminary budget that you mentioned, I think the number was 132,000, but I'm not positive, for ambulance service.
Yes.
Has a provider already been selected for that, or is that something that we bid out?
A bit.
So, we are working together with Mercy Fix, and we're working together to bring the contract, to a point where it is beneficial for both the borough and our residents as well. So, we have a meeting on Friday, and I believe that'll probably be a final meeting, and we'll be able to bring something back.
Okay, if it is with Mercy Fits, does that limit, the transport to Mercy Fits?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Wherever you wanna go, they'll take you.
Okay, because it used to be, the closest hospital, and and now we don't have one.
Within reason,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna take you to New York for.
No,
every
but
other-
like if you wanted, like say Langenall, would that be considered?
Like, for
Do
easy transport.
you know how much?
It all depends on the nature of the emergency. If it's something where they need to get you to the hospital right away, you're going to use the
Sure,
Fitzer route.
sure.
But if it's within reason, and honestly, Fitz, I think, transports the Langenall, on a pretty often, so.
Okay.
So I don't think that would be a problem.
Okay, and I think that, it's hopefully potentially really good news for us that, the Taylor Hospital sale that went through, I noticed the assessment was lowered from 60 million to 1 million with the approval of county, school district, and borough council. Was that a unanimous vote among the borough council members?
No. I think it was.
No.
No, it was unanimous, Borough Council.
I think one, no, didn't one of us, no, it was, I think the borough council was unanimous, the school board was not.
Yeah, I knew the school board was
Yes, the
not,
borough
that's
council.
why.
You have to check the minutes, my recollection is that it was unanimous.
Okay, great. And the folks that purchased it, the KOT, Aiken's, combination of Keystone Ambulance Transport and MVP Recovery are the players that are all involved. So, they talked about wanting to restore medical services, and pretty clearly, in the newspaper it was mentioned Temple, Christiana, whatever. None of those people are going to be interested. None of those institutions rent, because that's how Crozier got screwed in the same situation they were in. Property got sold out from under they were renting. Nobody's going to sign up for that. So some of the concerns that I've spoken with other residents is MVP Recovery is drug and alcohol recovery. Now he's the buyer. What's the impact of that? Is that what they're looking at as medical service?
No, so, one, they've had now 3 major players from the area. I'm not gonna disclose names, walk through that building. I was there for the first tour, just because it was a work from home day for me, so they asked me to show up. Met some of these folks. It is absolutely a possibility that they're willing to lease it. What they are looking to do is create an opportunity, and it's funny that you said Christiana, because I can tell you that the same day that those folks walked the building, Christiana also walked it looking to purchase it.
To purchase,
Yes,
not to rent.
but I don't think what you're going to see is a major hospital system come in and take all 4 floors, right? The first goal of these folks from discussions I've had with them is that, and I've expressed this is the most important thing for the borough, is to get emergency room services back in there. So I know there is an outfit, well, I'll tell you right now, Riddle. I can't say too much, but they've showed a lot of interest from Mainline Health because their Riddle Hospital and their Paoli Hospital are running at well over 100% capacity.
Right.
So what I think and my goal with this group, and I've expressed this as the opinion of the borough, is the first thing that we need to get back in there is an emergency room. And there are absolutely major hospital systems showing interest in that. So.
Okay, you're getting into my 5 minutes.
And then with that, your 5 minutes is up.
But you use 3 of them.
So I appreciate that, but if you ask a question, it's, and you want the back and forth, your 5 minutes are up.
Can we be assured that it's not going to be a drug rehab company?
What I don't own the building, but what I can tell you is that they have told me that they're not putting that facility in.
Okay, I hope we don't have to come back for further discussion on that.
Hi, Jack, just at 301 Purcell Street. Ever since our construction has been going on, I've had 3 mirrors taken off from my truck. And my neighbor, Jay, really has had his car hit twice across the street. It's between 2 stop signs, but everybody's just flying through there. I'd like to thank the chief, we spoke about it last week or the week before. And you were able to get somebody up there that they sat there, and it did help. But I recognize you can't leave somebody there 24/7. That doesn't make sense. But I don't know if there's something, here's your speed, or just something that we could put there to interrupt their speed rather than our cars, A, and B, there's a lot of still kids running around in that area. And with the cars and the amount of traffic moving from 13th over to Crestwell, it's just, it's getting confusing in there. I think somebody's gonna get hurt.
All right, I'm just showing the picture of the street in the corner off the top of my head, I apologize, I'm blanking. How about we do this? I think maybe public safety can have a conversation with the chief on what our options are. Because obviously with the change in traffic, clearly something's going on through these mirrors.
Yeah.
So, I think the best thing is for public safety to have a conversation with the chief. and see, what it is that we can do to help alleviate the issue. I can't guarantee it's gonna stop, but, we can try and work to a solution because, obviously you're losing carbon here, so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
What's the location you mentioned? We're right down here, on Crestwell. Corner of Crestwell.
Good evening, Andy from 419 Congress Street. I have two issues I wanted to address. The first one has to do with the advanced life support for the ambulance services that I've been bringing up for a few months now. Council's been working together with a few different municipalities in the area to provide this advanced ambulance service. Crozier Hospital used to provide it for free, before they went bankrupt. The county then provided it for a few months until July 31st. Now, council's had been well aware of this termination date of July 31st, for some time, but now we're in the middle of October, 2.5 months after July 31st, and still nothing's been finalized regarding the advanced life support services. From my perspective, there's been no sense of urgency on council's part. Council has simply let the solicitor's office, or solicitor, provide the time frame, and it appears that council has taken an attitude of when it gets done, it gets done. If there were a sense of urgency, council would have told the solicitor's office that we need this under a specific time frame to review those documents that they had been doing for months, but it should have been dictated, these people work for us, for the borough, that we need it in 1 week, and then get a meeting together to hash out, all the issues. But none of that was done. This is advanced ambulance service, which for the residents, all the residents of the borough, should have been priority number 1. However, as of today, there remains no good reason as to why the ambulance service wasn't provided to all the residents closer to July 31st. I will say I'm encouraged to hear that there's at least a meeting on Friday, close to 3 months after the July 31st date. The second issue that I'd like to bring up that's been alluded to by a couple residents previously is the annual borough financial audit for 2024. Again, myself and a couple other residents have been asking about this for months. By state law, the audit is due to be completed by March 31st, April 1st, which is 3 months after the end of the calendar year. Now, granted, the 2023 audit wasn't completed until January of this year. Now, 3 months from the middle of January is the middle of April. Here we are in mid-October, and the audit is still not completed, which is now 6 months late. And again, the state law requires a March 31st completion. Again, no sense of urgency from council to direct the auditors this time, who work for the borough, are paid by the borough, to complete the audit in a more timely manner. Now, a cynical person might say that council is more than happy with this delay and had no intention of expediting the process. Since this year is obviously an election year, with an election in a couple weeks, council might be more than happy to have the audit completed after the election day of November 4th. Now further, as was stated earlier, for the year ending 2023, according to the audit report that was done in January, the deficit was over $800,000 if you take out the money for the borough's pension plan, which the borough can't touch that money anyway, for expenses. Now, this deficit, $800,000, is well above the $335,000 that Taylor Hospital used to pay. So we can't quite use that as an excuse. Again, that deficit in 2023 was $800,000. But with a 20% millage tax increase last year and a new earned income tax this year, one would think that finally we're gonna have enough tax revenues to create a surplus, as hopefully was stated in the preliminary budget. But given that large $800,000 deficit in 2023, there's a very good possibility of it's a sizable deficit in 2024. However, the residents won't know precisely until that audit's completed, which coincidentally is going to be after the election. Thank you very much.
Right on time. Thank you, Andy.
I just want to just real quick reiterate, there's been no delay in advanced life support for the residents of Ridley Park.
Advanced, Mike.
I said advanced life support in Ridley Park. All right, we have providers from Ridley Township, Swarthmore area, they're being dispatched. We dispatched at the 911 center at the closest unit. We are working on something where to have something in place, but even that is a foolproof system. There are systems in place where they might be tied up on something even though they're contracted with us. So another paramedic is coming in from somewhere else. There has been no delay in Ridley Park, and there won't be even without this contract. Thank you.
Hey, it's Coffee, 602 East River. My first comment is about the trash. I appreciate it. I have properties in Ridley Township. The trash can pick everything up. You can throw anything you want out there. They're the greatest people. But when I asked, out of turn, about the estimates, I didn't like the response that you all of a sudden said, well, it's going to save us well, if it's going to save us $200 some, then $200 some from what? Like, you need to explain to the people what we're going to save as far as what we were paying, what we're going to pay. You know, it was elusive there, this whole Ridley thing. But I agree with it. I mean, they're right around the corner. Why not just pay the guy across the street? Right? That's the premise, right? I get it. I agree. However, I think there still should be budgeting. I still think we should get a couple different estimates and prove to the people that this is why we left it. Because it's a financial move. Not just because of the idea that, oh, well, they're right around the corner. Which, believe me, I understand. Hey, listen, I drive. I get it. It's a lot cheaper to drive a truck from around the corner than it is to drive it all the way down to wherever. So, I agree. So it's a good thing. Second thing, this earned income tax is the biggest farce that you can ever have in any borough or township. It's all you're doing is you're telling young kids that, listen, you're going to have to pay. Okay, so then you got old people like me, okay, that are semi-retired, don't make a lot of money, and then we don't have to pay as much earned income tax because we're not working. A lot of people in Ridley Park are old. They don't work, so they don't care. What you ought to do as a council, and this is what we did in 2005, me and Roy Hickey, we got together with a bunch of people who worked, including me and Roy, and we said, would you want to pay it? Oh, well, hell no. You wouldn't get one person in Ridley Park that wants to pay the earned income tax unless they went to Philly every day, where they're paying 4.5%. So what you did is, and you capitalized on that, you act as if, oh, it's good for Ridley Park because these people are paying anyway. Well, give me 100 people right now that work that don't pay it now. And ask them people if they want to pay the earned income tax. And every one of them will say, no, no one likes to be out taxed. There's no reason for the earned income tax. Third, that's what you need to do as a council, to say, to try to get rid of that, you got to start sharpening the pencil, run this place like it's your household. And we've heard about this with all politics. We hear about with the higher politics than here. It's time to sharpen pencils. I know you are doing a good job. I like it here. I've been here since 1987. I love it here. And I just think it's time now to start saying, okay, we need to tighten up. Only because all these old people still live here, still got to pay the bills. They still got to, you know, I still work, so I'm a little different. But there's a lot of elderly people that live in these parts. And we need to make those adjustments. And fourth of all, I asked a question the last time I was here, which is about 7 months ago. And I had a simple question. I said, does everybody here live in Ridley Park? And I want to ask that question one more time before I sit down. Does everybody here, raise your hand if you live in Ridley Park, if you're up there?
You mean of council?
Everybody right here, everybody that's sitting here.
I think, of course, you have to be in order to be borough council.
Okay?
They all raise your hand. Every borough council member has to be a member of our resident Ridley Park. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right. At this time, we're going to close public comment and move to action items.
Motion to approve October accounts payable in the amount of $595,055.02.
I will be the maker of that motion. Do I have a second? Second, Councilor Pinto. Any comments or questions?
I have a comment. I see on here that there was a check made out for OnServe. It looks like it's dated September 18th, but then on the last sheet it says the 21st. I received a notice yesterday that the bill had been paid, so I refuse to. I'm trying to find it again. There it is. Yeah, it's dated September 18th.
What's the amount?
So that has been paid?
What's the amount?
Oh, it's for $4,089.96.
That's the,
It's for
Code Red.
Code Red.
We paid Code Red, right?
Yeah, it's right, it's in this page, right here, sorry, on the list. So it wasn't paid on the 18th then? No. In this section today.
These are pile of checks that we just signed.
Okay. Yesterday I got the notice of, yesterday, so.
Yeah, Lenny and I just signed the checks tonight. All right.
I think our last meeting was the 16th.
All right. Making the motion. Me. Second was Councilor Pinto. All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve September 16th, 2025 council meeting minutes.
Can you review this? Making the motion is Councilor Collins. Do I have a second? Second is Councilor Woods. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Motion to approve Borough Council authorize the Borough Solicitor to engage in discussions, negotiations with Ridley Township regarding the terms and conditions of a potential intergovernmental agreement for the municipal trash collection and disposal services, and report back to council with proposed agreement for further consideration and possible adoption of ordinance as required under the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act.
Making the motion is Councilor McGinley. Do we have a second? Second is Councilor Pinto. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Please, 6 4s, 1 against.
Motion to approve contribution in the amount of $190,698 from Aqua towards paving restoration work to be completed by the borough as a result of water main replacement project.
Making the motion is Councilor McGinley. Do we have a second? Second, Councilor Collins. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Motion to approve facility rental application for ABC Field to Rec Board for Halloween event, 10/26.
Making the motion is Councilor Collins. Second is Councilor McGinley. Comments or questions?
Question.
Just have one.
Go ahead.
So you can go.
No, you can.
Okay. I did a question. So normally we get like people in the area to approve it. Do you know if they went through?
I think it's just for the field use of ABC.
Okay. Because I saw that like there was like
I think it's a block party shutting down. I think it's clearly for the
so
use.
the hayride thing is in the field. Because it said there was a potential hayride as well. Like I just don't want people to be upset. Like we have basketball stuff going on.
Yeah,
We're upset.
right, but, so with a public park, anyone can come up and use it, so it's kind of impossible to get a signature of a random person who may or may not use that park at that
The
time.
pulse of the
Streets
people.
around it.
But my understanding is we're not shutting down any streets.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we were shutting down streets like a block party, sure. They used to have Pomeroy Street block party and they go around and get the signatures. I don't think they're shutting down any streets.
Okay. As long as that's there.
The intention was to have a hayride around the park, but not shut the streets down.
Okay. Okay.
And that brings up my concern is liability. Will the liability fall on the borough or does this individual have
So
liability?
I think it's, Sandy Phelps, her husband, I think, used to run it. And now it's Phil's Landscaping that's running it out of there. It's a private business with liability and folder.
So do they have a insurance waiver?
I don't know.
Well, I think we should get it.
Alright.
I mean, what if there was
So
a child to fall off of it?
It's a private business. Did they have an insurance waiver when Sandy Phelps used to do it?
I have no idea because
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
in charge of these
Just
things
get
back
COI,
then.
just say it's going for the COI.
No. It's not.
That would have been Berger in charge then, not me.
All right, any other comments, questions? All in favor?
No.
Please let the record reflect one name to the, Halloween parade.
Motion to approve block party request for Holiday Village and Santa Parade sponsored by the Rectory.
Making the motion. Second, comments or questions? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve 2026 preliminary budget.
I will be the maker of the motion on this one. We have a second. Second. Councilor Pinto, comments or questions? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to authorize civil service to begin the process of testing for promotion for corporal.
Maker of the motion will be Councilor Gillespie. Do we have a second? Second is Councilor Gear. Comments or questions? Seeing none? All in favor? Aye. Motion to adjourn. Motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming.